Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Exchange. My name is Scott Morganroth, along with Candace Ebling, and Louis Adio-Weiss will be on in a little while. And we are joined by veteran UCLA broadcaster and president of the Southern California Sports Broadcasters, Chris Robertson. Chris, thanks for being on the Sports Exchange.
Scott, it is always a pleasure. Thanks for having me back again, pal.
You're very welcome. And Chris, I'll tell you, it was a pleasure meeting you face-to-face over at the event. And I got to tell you, it was nice meeting a lot of cool people over at that luncheon. Really enjoyed the time and look forward to doing it again sometime down the road.
We are definitely going to do it again. It was good to have you out there. And you are officially now the farthest member of the SoCal Sports Broadcasters, because you live on the East Coast, and of course we're in LA right by Los Angeles, so good to have you on the team, so to speak, as a solid member.
Well, it was a lot of fun, and like I said, I'm looking forward to a return visit. Before we get into some business, though, you have to go ahead and let Candace Ebling realize how good that garlic bread was over at the Smokehouse. That was phenomenal. She gets so caught up in Mamma Mia out in Wisconsin. Go ahead and give her some information about the garlic bread.
Hi, Chris.
I'll tell you what, the Smokehouse is right down the street from Lakeside Golf Course, where we hold our meetings and had our big luncheon. And Scott and I got over there, and they asked us, would you like a small order of cheese garlic bread? No, bring us the large one. And I don't think I've ever seen a Michigander transplanted to Florida that bit into more pieces of garlic bread than Scott. And he says, wait till I tell my wife, Candy. She's not going to believe it, but I can tell you, Candy, from first-hand experience, we had a great lunch, and he loves the garlic bread. I can't wait to get you out west with him the next trip, and it'll be my pleasure to take you to the Smokehouse.
So, Chris, the truth comes out, a large basket, and Scott was eating all kinds of bites of the garlic bread. That's not the story I got exactly, but he did say it was really, really good.
I was kidding him that the big piece of cake that he had for dessert was non-caloric, and of course I was lying a little bit. It was only about 400 calories, but who's counting calories when you're having a great lunch?
Don't get me in trouble, but yeah, we had a heck of a time, that's for sure. I'm already in trouble. That's okay. All right, well, now that we had a chance to reminisce a little bit, Chris, we have some breaking news before we get to the business at hand. And earlier this afternoon, motorsports suffered a major loss, with John Andretti dying at the age of 56 today due to colon cancer. And obviously he's racing's most versatile driver, who also participated in the Indy 500 and Coca-Cola 600 on one day. So I know a lot of people are talking about an individual in L.A., but John Andretti passes away at the age of 56, and he was actually diagnosed in 2017. So all of our hearts go out to the Andretti family. You know, we hate when we talk about death, you lose it in numbers, and John Andretti will be sorely missed by the motorsports community. So,
well, and I had a chance to do a lot of his racing when he first started out at Old Ontario Motor Speedway here in Greater Southern California, and also at Riverside Raceway. And you're right, he's going to be missed. He was a great racer, great competitor, and from a great family, and you better believe our hearts and prayers are with the Andrettis.
All right, obviously the subject that I believe in my own mind is overloaded, but we have no choice but to address it, is Kobe Bryant. So what is it? Let's talk about the thing that we initially discussed about pilot error. You can go into what you feel is pertinent about what you know so far, Chris.
Well, listen, I'm not a pilot, and I've flown in helicopters, but and let's face it, the late Kobe Bryant and his daughter, along with 7 other individuals from Orange County that can't be forgotten either, passed away when his helicopter crashed when they were on the way to his little girl, she's 13, one of her basketball games in a tournament at the Mamba Academy, which is run by Kobe Bryant's family now. He used to run it himself. But it was a tragic turn of events. The NTSB has stated that the weather conditions were just horrible fog. And I've driven that route through the Calabasas area outside of Los Angeles a lot. And there are some steep hillsides on both sides of the freeway, the 101. And apparently they got confused. They say the pilot who was flying the helicopter, and it was one of those situations where Era Zobayan is his name, looked like he was trying to take it up above the clouds, and the NTSB says he missed the cliff of getting above the mountain that he hit by about 20 to 30 feet, and he was accelerating while he was trying to get above the clouds and mountain up to about 180 miles an hour when they crashed, and it was just really an unfortunate situation, a debris field that was between 250 to 300 yards. So it was really a tragic situation. They finally got all of the bodies recovered, and really, besides Kobe and his daughter Gigi, John Alcivelli, a longtime baseball coach from Orange Coast College that won the national championship for JCs last year, he passed along with his wife Carrie, their daughter Alyssa, Christina Mauser, an assistant basketball coach at the Sports Academy. She passed, 38 years old. Then Sarah Chester, who's 45, Chester's daughter, 8 and 13. Then we mentioned the pilot, 50-year-old Era Zobayan. Those are the other people that passed. And listen, I know we keep talking about Kobe and his family, but those other families from Orange County are aching and hurting, and it's a tough one to get over, Scott. And all of them, Kobe, along with the rest of the people that passed on that helicopter, are going to be missed.
Yeah, it's funny. I had a steady, or isn't funny, I had a steady diet of the 101, and I know one thing you did tell me when I was out in SoCal is it is a great road, a lot of scenery, but I'll tell you, wasn't so nice on that particular day. So, yeah, rest in peace to all the families that were definitely affected by that accident. And I know that the impact on the community, Chris, has to be tremendous, isn't it?
Well, the basketball world, sports world, Kings, Ducks, Dodgers, Angels, you name it, they postponed a basketball game a couple of nights ago, and I think that was a good move by the NBA to say, let's put the Clippers, who are in Los Angeles, and the Lakers, reschedule that one and get back to basketball later on in the week. And I think that was a good move by the NBA because hearts were just so heavy. In fact, every night at the Staples Center, including this one tonight, there's just tons of people still dropping by to pay tribute to Kobe Bryant. He was loved not just as a player, and he's arguably one of the greatest that's ever put on a pair of sneakers in pro basketball, but he was a great man, too, and it turned out to be a great family man. He loved being he called it a girl dad with his 4 young daughters. Mom, Vanessa, just had another baby near the end of 2019, and that gave them 4 daughters. There's 3 now with Gigi passing with her dad, Kobe. But, boy, you talk about heavy hearts. It's like this one's a little bit of a tough one to get over, not only for the basketball community, but right here in Southern California.
Yeah.
I'm personal. My son lives in Newport Beach by the Bryant family, and my daughter lives in Orange County, and they're about as upset with this as anybody else. But it's a tough one to get over, Scott. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I was about to ask you this. Okay, would you say in all your years, Chris, that this is one of the most impactful deaths in the Los Angeles community in many years?
Well, I think probably because Kobe was so young. He was 41 years old, retired not long ago, back in 2016, and still very impactful in the sports community, and did so many good things for Make-A-Wish helping other young people out. He loved coaching youth basketball for the girls, especially his daughter's team. But he was still very, very active. And the thing to mention about that helicopter crash, he used that helicopter and company, maybe not the same pilot all the time, but he'd been flying back and forth to the Staples Center from Orange County in Newport Beach the last, 15 to 20 years. So there have been hundreds of flights that he's been on, and it's kind of funny. If he was going somewhere, he would invite friends and family to go with him, and that would be the last thing you'd think of. Sure, love to have a ride to downtown L.A. or over into the San Fernando Valley or the brink of it and go to a girls' basketball game, and the last thing you think of is a crash, but it took some lives.
Yeah, one way to circumvent that traffic, without a doubt, because everybody knows that Southern California, particularly the Los Angeles area, is known for it.
Well, the one thing that you talked about when you came out, you kept asking me, how far is it from LAX to Lakeside Country Club? And I said, well, it sometimes could be a half an hour, it could be an hour and a half. And you said, well, you give directions and distance more in time than in miles. And
right.
That's the way you got to do it with the traffic problems in greater Los Angeles.
Well, I do know that Bob Hope Airport will be the next destination airport that I have, God willing, because I know how far it was since I really developed a liking for Burbank. All right, let's talk about the outpouring feelings around the world. No secret, not only did the L.A. community lose an icon, but the world did as well because of Kobe's brand internationally as well as throughout the United States and North America.
Well, there's a lot of people who love pro basketball and follow it religiously, and I think that there are a couple of examples made by some of his close friends that they'd be on a trip somewhere, maybe over in Europe or in the Orient, and if somebody had a Lakers jersey on, or especially a number 24 or 8, the two numbers that Kobe wore as a Laker, they were treated special. And it was because of Kobe Bryant and his great citizenship and the way that he treated himself and his friends. He did stumble and have a problem a few years ago in Colorado. The case was finally dropped, but I think he dedicated himself at that time, not just to show everybody, but dedicated himself to Vanessa, his wife, and his girls, that he was going to be a super father, and boy, did he prove that right. He probably as good as they get as a dad. We all love our kids, but he was a great example of being a terrific family man.
Chris, did you ever have any interaction with Kobe Bryant?
A little bit with the Lakers, and I can only say that he is a gentleman from word go. And, I think the thing that is the most complimentary of him is all of his friends and teammates and anybody that he met, people would say, God, he's just an average, likable type guy. He's not a prima donna, not a superstar, and he'll give you the time of day and look you in the eye and shake your hand. And they were always impressed with his personality and his warmth that he would show to other people, which I think is just admirable.
Well, I know one organization that respects the living daylights out of Kobe Bryant. That's the Dallas Mavericks, who retired the number 24. Mark Cuban made one of the classiest moves I've ever seen by being able to say no Maverick will ever wear that jersey. And I wouldn't be surprised to see what other tributes eventually start to come about as time progresses. I know we're still in the shock phase of this whole thing. And being here in Super Bowl country in South Florida, you could certainly hear the impact during Super Bowl week. That's another day for another animal. But I got to kudos to Mark Cuban and the Mavericks for retiring Kobe's number 24.
Well, it comes from the heart. Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, and of course a lot of us know him from the Shark Tank, where he's very popular. And I thought that was a terrific